In 2025, one market didn't just grow, it exploded by 1,100%, hitting $23.8 billion in volume. And it wasn't Bitcoin, it was the crowd putting its money where its mouth is to predict the future. Today, we're witnessing a collision between two empires, Trump's top-down crypto strategy and this bottom-up billion-dollar boom. When the dust settles, who gets to control the future of your money? This isn't just another story about politics or tech. It's a battle between two fundamentally different visions for the future of finance and power. One path is a centralized, personality-driven revolution paved by executive orders from the highest office. The other is a chaotic, decentralized eruption of public opinion, where every belief and every prediction has a price tag. But is this even a fair fight? One side commands the full force of the government, the other has the wisdom, or maybe the madness, of the crowd. So which force will actually shape crypto's future? A president's ambitious plan, or the untamed, explosive growth of a new kind of financial truth? We're breaking down the strengths, the weaknesses, and the astronomical stakes for both. Subscribe so you don't miss how these huge trends will unfold. All right, let's unpack Donald Trump's audacious play to make America the undisputed center of the crypto universe. This is a multi-pronged strategy, but it all revolves around a few core ideas, most notably the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve 2025, a hardline stance against a central bank digital currency, and an overarching promise to champion the industry. Let's start with the headline grabber, the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve 2025. In March 2025, President Trump announced an initiative to create a digital Fort Knox. The idea is simple, but the implications are world-changing. Instead of auctioning off the vast stores of Bitcoin seized by U.S. agencies, the government would hold them as a permanent national reserve asset. The plan explicitly states, this Bitcoin should not be sold. Think of it like the country's gold vaults, but built for a new digital age. The reserve would be capitalized by the government's existing holdings of around 200,000 Bitcoin, recovered from seizures like the Bitfinex hack and Silk Road. But the reserve is just one piece of the puzzle. Trump has been just as vocal about what he doesn't want: a central bank digital currency, or CBDC. He's called a potential digital dollar a dangerous threat to freedom, promising to never allow its creation. But here's the twist. While Trump calls a CBDC a threat to freedom, his administration's task force is pushing for something else. Through the new S381 crypto bill, they're championing what are known as Genius Act stablecoins, which are just as trackable. Is this freedom, or just a different kind of government control? We'll look at the Kenya warning in a moment to see how a government can kill a market and your money overnight. All of this is part of a broader pro-crypto pivot. Trump has vowed to end the war on crypto, and his Crypto 2.0 task force is drafting clearer rules for the industry. This policy momentum has fueled a tidal wave of optimism, with analysts projecting Bitcoin's price could hit anywhere from $180,000 to $250,000. But hold on. If it's that simple, why isn't every billionaire pouring their cash in? Because the conflicts of interest are just as massive. Critics call his pivot opportunistic, pointing out he once called crypto a scam. The ethical questions are impossible to ignore. Trump's own NFT collections have reportedly earned him millions, and his campaign has courted huge donations from crypto leaders. This creates a minefield of potential corruption allegations when a president is shaping national crypto policy while having direct financial ties to the industry. So Trump's gamble is a bold, top-down strategy, all centralized around one powerful figure. But here is the million-dollar question. What happens when the top-down world of a president collides with the bottom-up reality of the crowd? To see the future of the U.S. crypto market, we have to look at the Kenya warning. For years, Kenya was the global poster child for mobile finance and fintech innovation. But in early 2024, everything changed when the Financial Action Task Force, FATF, officially gray-listed Kenya due to severe deficiencies in its anti-money laundering frameworks. The result wasn't just a slap on the wrist. It was a catastrophic financial contraction. International banks immediately spiked their due diligence, making the cost of doing business skyrocket for Kenyan exporters. Foreign direct investment inflows plunged by 3% of GDP, and the country saw a 10% reduction in incoming international payments. But it gets darker. In a desperate bid to raise $2.7 billion in domestic revenue to pay interest on national debt, the government introduced a punitive finance bill that taxed everything from diapers to bank transfers. This is where the top-down model broke. The youth-led movement didn't just post on social media, they stormed the parliament, forcing the president to withdraw the bill after a deadly assault on the government. The warning for us today is clear. When a government tries to tame the financial ocean by evading scrutiny and bypassing established controls, the system becomes vulnerable to hacking, manipulation, and total collapse. If Trump creates a strategic Bitcoin reserve but fails to secure the legislative and technical guardrails, just like the US warned Kenya about its financial tools, we could see billions of dollars in digital gold siphoned by hacking syndicates or frozen by international regulators. Before we get to the final showdown, if you're getting value from this look into the future of finance, sign up for our free weekly newsletter. It's where we break down the most important trends in crypto before they hit the mainstream. The link is in the description. It's the best way to stay ahead. So this is the showdown. The president's top-down decree versus the crowd's bottom-up revolution. A state-influenced crypto push against the decentralized hive mind of prediction markets. Trump's power comes from political authority. Prediction markets get their power from collective belief and capital. Trump's plan grows by White House decrees and legislation. Prediction markets grow organically every time they prove the experts wrong. Both are in the crosshairs, but for different reasons. Trump's policies face political opposition, while prediction markets face an existential threat from regulators. But let me ask you this directly. Look at your own phone. Who do you trust more to tell you the truth? A politician's tweet or a market where millions of dollars are on the line? The truth is, these two forces are locked in a strange, unwilling dance. Trump's pro-crypto stance, for all its controversy, inadvertently gives air cover to even the most decentralized projects. It legitimizes the entire space. A world where the US holds a strategic Bitcoin reserve 2025 is a world more open to all crypto innovation. However, they represent a battle for the very soul of this technology. Trump's model is centralization wrapped in a DeFi skin. Prediction markets are the original cypherpunk ethos, using technology to create transparent systems free from any single person's control. In the end, it's not about one destroying the other. It's about the two poles that will define crypto's future: state-influenced adoption versus permissionless innovation. The real showdown isn't Trump versus Polymarket. It's a war for the soul of crypto itself. It's the attempt to tame the technology versus the technology's inherent resistance to being tamed. Trump's plan is the king commanding the ocean. Prediction markets are the ocean. This brings me to the question I want to leave you with. Which vision will you bet on? The sanitized, state-approved crypto revolution, or the chaotic, uncontrollable, and permissionless future that got us here in the first place?